My name is Art Bisschop, Sales and Support Director at NIPO, and I will be moderating this session. Presenting today is Maarten Strijbis, Product Manager for Reporting at NIPO. Today we will be talking about the Power BI integration in Nfield. This will be released the next sprint. The first deliverable is the fieldwork report, the topic of today. For that reason, we have organized this session to explain what is coming now and discuss what will come in the future. The sessions will be in the form of a Q&A session, so we will first present our Power BI integration and then take your questions. The session is attended by many people, so please keep yourself muted always. This is also because we will record this session and share this afterwards, and background noise would be a little bit disturbing. But do ask your questions, and for that, please... That's what I was talking about. Please use the chat for that. Can everybody unmute yourself if you're entering the session? Do not... Okay. Do ask questions and do that via the chat function. We will find a suitable moment to discuss your questions, and that will probably be after the demo. So I will now hand over to Maarten for the presentation.
Thank you, Art. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Let me just jump right into it and demo the fieldwork reports that we have. So I'm going to sign in to the manager. And you will see your usual list of surveys, and I'm going to just pick one. And what will be new is that you will have an extra tab or page, which is called Reports. And if you go there, you will find a tile for the fieldwork overview and a gray button, which means that for now, the report has not been activated. If I click on it, it will start activating. It means it's going to copy the template over and load in the data to this report. You can just keep working and come back later on. Depending on the size of your survey, this can take anywhere between a few seconds and maybe up to a minute. If you go and navigate to another page, it won't stop working. And you can see now is that it has fetched the data. And there should be, if my count was correct, 5 completes into this report, even 24. And 15 successfuls. Let me go back quickly to another survey which has a little bit more data, which may look a bit nicer for an explanation.
Not connecting. Connecting.
So you can see that this survey already had been activated and it was reloaded overnight. The policy we have introduced now is that we reload every active dashboard once overnight. And if you want an update, you should manually refresh the report. When you step into the report, there is an overview page, which gives you the name, the number of interviews, the interview time, the hour when it was last refreshed. There is a chart which is the frequencies of the successful dropped out and test records. There is an overview of the interview time, and you can see the progress of your completes or any interview. All the charts are interactive, so if I click on the successful, you can see now the charts change. And actually the successful times, you can see them moving a bit more to some more minutes. You can also see the medium interview time changing because we took out the test records. You can also apply filters to the right. These are global filters, so it means that if you check a filter here, it will apply to the full dashboard and not only to the page as it is would be when you select something in a chart. So let's just take out the drop-downs here. And you can see that 65% of the drop-outs drops out within a minute of the time. Then the next page is actually where you can see the drop-off. It is an overview of the number that each question has been answered. The questions are sorted by the questionnaire order, and you can see that the first few questions are model questions in this case, and people drop off at the first real screen question, and then slowly drop off. And there is no obvious question where you suddenly see a big dip, except for when they start the first question. And maybe they don't like the topic, and they see the first question and think, no, thank you, not for me. Then the third page is the cross table page. Let me just select a few questions, otherwise it will show the full questionnaire, and that might take a while to completely compute this table. Let's take the successfuls, otherwise we have a very boring table. I even need to have less data. Okay, you can select a header field for your table, which in this case is the total. All the sample fields are available as a header page, and all the questions that are available in the fieldwork report are available as a header. So we can take this question, which doesn't have any nice answers. And these are now all the answers that are associated with this question. And it will give you either the count per question, or it can give you the column percentages. So you can not only use this for a quick check if every question is filled correctly, but also maybe to get a first indication on where the results are heading. Then we have one final page, which is the verbatim. These are all the questions to open-ended, all the answers to open-ended questions. And you can quickly check the answers to each question. This is all built in Power BI, embedded in the manager, which means that you can also export all the visuals and the underlying data to Excel or CSV if you want to. If you hover over a visualization and you see the 3 dots in the corner, you can choose to export data and either have the summarized data or the underlying data. Please keep in mind that the underlying data will not be the complete interview, but it will be something like the raw data, but just for this question or the selected question. But the summarized data is very useful, and you can export it to an Excel file where you can use it to report to others. There's another way to share this report with others, which is if you go back to the tile, this is the refresh button, and next to it is the share a report button. This will create a open but hard to guess URL, which is valid for an X amount of day, which you can decide here, and you can create a link. And you can copy that link and email this to someone else. This someone doesn't need to have access to the manager, which is both a good point because you don't have to do user management and you can easily share with someone else. But it also means that if they share it with someone else you don't know, the data might be exposed to people. So be careful with sharing this link with others. And it will lead them to this web page where they can see the full report with all the full functionality. All the reports are by default available once we update Nfield. The reports are not active at the moment. That means that if you want to see the results, you need to activate the report through the tile. You can refresh a report up to 48 times a day. This is a hard limit introduced by Power BI. And we will refresh the report once overnight for you. So if you want to have a really quick glance, you don't even need to refresh. You can just check in the morning, for example.
Martin, if I can add to that, is that the fieldwork overview report indeed will be released in the next Nfield release. But it's also, I want to stress, this will be free, available to all Nfield users. So it's available in the Nfield Manager for online research now, and it will be a free add-on that we offer to all our customers.
That is right. Thank you for elaborating. And it will be available only for the online interview. So KP interviews are for now not included and don't have a fieldwork report. So this is a short overview and a short introduction. Also note that all the answers and the data behind this, as soon as it's refreshed, you pretty much have the latest interview. There might be a small delay of a few seconds up to maybe a few minutes on extremely busy times between what is reported in the manager and what's available in the fieldwork report. Usually it's just a few seconds. So even if you have done some tests, wait 10 seconds, refresh a report, and you will see the results of your test records. So I would like to show you a quick overview of some do's and don'ts. Please consider this as it is, as a fieldwork report. So you can effectively monitor and steer your fieldwork while it is going on. You don't have to wait for a data processor. You don't have to take out U files or anything. It's immediately available if you have access to the survey and to the manager. You can also use it to check the first results and see where the data is heading. We'll also talk to stakeholders and maybe discuss the first ideas while the fieldwork is going on. And you can immediately also scan the open-ended questions without having to wait until someone fetches the data for you. Please don't consider this fieldwork report as a substitute for the real data processed data set. It's not meant for that. We will, in the future, try to work towards this, where it will be more and more also a place where you can get your data ready. And don't share this report also as a reporting mechanism. This is really meant as a fieldwork monitor. There are some limitations to what we have now. You can only refresh every 15 minutes. This is a hard set limit by Power BI. If you have thousands of interviews and a 40-minute questionnaire, it might become a little slow. Basically, you can assume that if your survey gets triggered by the metrics with using excessive resources, that the report might also not be the fastest. So, for example, for the cross table, you might want to reduce the number of questions you see in the cross table, and maybe a refresh will take some minutes instead of some seconds. And for now, we haven't included matrix questions or any questions in repeat loops or subroutines in the fieldwork report. We store these questions in the database that is behind the Power BI reports, but the questions are not included in the field report for now. We're looking to find a way to include matrix questions, including questions in repeat loops might take us a little longer. So that are the limitations. Please use it effectively. It will allow you to get much more information during the first few days of fieldwork in an easy way. But it's not a substitute for full reporting. That's it for the demo.
Yes, are you ready to take questions?
Are there any questions, Art? I just wanted to ask that.
Yeah, oh, there are questions. Yes, let's start. Does the user need administrator privileges in order to do the analysis with Power BI?
You do not need to have administrator rights to see the fieldwork report.
No, it's yeah, to stress that this is just a report that is available in your domain under every survey as is. So basically, you could activate it and use it, or not, or leave it as is. But you don't need indeed certain privileges for that. There's also a question on whether you need any user certification to enable this function. But yeah, I think it is just enabled for everyone to access. Another question for you, Martin, is the data in the report link will be updated automatically after each refresh?
Yes, the data behind the report link, the report will be the same. Will have the same status as the report that you see in the manager. So if it's updated in the manager, then the report behind the sharing link will also be updated.
Okay, thank you. Next question was, well, as expected, about custom reports. Can these be created, or do we only offer the fieldwork overview functionality?
For now, we only offer the fieldwork overview functionality. One of the first things on the roadmap is open up the data behind the fieldwork report, so you can build your own dashboards on top of that data, which is basically in a nice SQL database, which has a format which is ideal for not only Power BI, but basically any BI tool. But within the manager, for now, there is no way to build custom reports.
So that's coming later.
That's depending on demand coming later, yes. Okay,
very good. Is there a chance that this functionality gets added to the offline Nfield manager, the Nfield KP manager as well?
Not for now. Not in the near future.
No, and I think I can add to that is actually I think this week you will get a new invitation for the next academy session for all Nfield KP users. We have been working extensively on integrating KP functionality in the Nfield online manager, and the next academy session will be on that matter. In the end, we want to go to one manager that supports both online and KP surveys, and in the next academy session we will already show you that the first KP scenario can now be done in the new Nfield manager.
Art?
Yes, sure.
Let me add to that. Those reports will not be available in the KP manager, never. Those KP surveys that will move to the online manager will have these reports eventually, not to start with, because we need to enable those KP surveys for this reporting too. We are looking at that at this moment, how we do that and when we do that. Well, at first the KP surveys in the Nfield manager, as it is called from now, will not have these reports, but we are looking how we can enable them as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you, Frank. That was Frank Scholten, other product manager. He will be doing the next academy session. The next question, Martin, was can we use the connector directly from Power BI?
That was one of the things when we want to open up the database. then you can connect with Power BI to this data. There is no native Nfield connector we have written for Power BI, but it is quite easy once you have a connection string to get to the data.
Yeah. So if you want to do, sorry. Yeah.
Please keep in mind that we want to offer this as a service, which also will involve a minor fee to cover all the resources that we spent on this. So the fieldwork reports are free and the integration is free. If you want to have direct access to this data, we are coming up with a paid plan for this.
Yeah, but that will be announced at a later stage.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, still questions coming in, Martin. Yeah, somebody asked if it's possible to get this added to their domain and test it before the full release.
I don't see any point in this being tested. This has been tested by 2 or 3 domains. It doesn't put any extra load on your manager. And there's no way we can have this as a test version. Basically, there's only one flavor, which is this is live for your domain.
Okay, perfect. About the verbatim tab, do open ends include other specify, open given at a multi-response question, for example?
From the top of my mind, I'm pretty sure it doesn't include those. It includes the open questions, but it might. Let me verify this. Yes, let me verify this, and we'll include this in the communication because this is a good question, and I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, we'll get back on that then. Next question is: can we exclude any specific case in the report for quality control reasons, for example?
Any record that you delete to the manager, as you would normally do, would also be deleted from the report. So you cannot delete them just for the report, but you can delete them for the whole survey.
Okay, that's a clear answer. Yeah, well, somebody asked, yeah, it's an added value and it's free. Does it mean that the costs are included to the Nfield charges? Well, in a sense, that is true. I can answer that from a commercial perspective. We offer this as a free add-on. Yeah, so, but it's included in your annual subscription fee that is paid for Nfield. So we decided to give this as a free add-on, as it will also replace some of the functionality that is currently available in the Nfield Manager. For example, the top line section will be replaced by the top lines in the Power BI Fieldwork overview. So yeah, it simply does not add additional charges for you, so it's free for you to use. Marta, for you a question. Is there any way to limit field report access to particular users? The question arises due to GDPR.
Right now, there isn't. This is part of a bigger story where we are reinventing also the access rights to the manager as a whole. And we're planning to include a reporting only user role for the manager. So it is on the roadmap. I don't have an ETA. And for now, it's not possible to limit only to show the report.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I see a final question. Is it applicable only for live data, or can we use it for testing as well?
It includes every interview, so test records, dropped outs, screened outs, anything is included in the database. Yeah, so and you can apply the filters to look at completed surveys only or at test data only, right? Exactly, yes.
Okay. Last question. Somebody asked, when is the next sprint? When will this be available?
This will be available either end of this week or next week, depending on how fast things move with updating. So be assured that this is available end of next week at the latest.
Okay, and we of course we hope that everybody is using the fieldwork overview and do share the feedback. Once using it, of course.
Exactly. The more feedback we get, the more we can improve this as a whole.
Okay.
So everything is welcome.
Perfect. Somebody asked for the recording of this call. Indeed, we will make the recording and share this hopefully later today with the update on the question of the open answers, and share that to everybody that has registered for one of these sessions. Another question came in, if there's going to be another learning session once it's launched.
Nothing is planned, but we might consider it if there is enough. Okay, I just heard from Frank, there will be a manual, and we might have a learning session if there's enough interest in it.
Okay, perfect. Those were all the questions. There's another question. Are we expecting any improvements, changes this week for launching, or is this the release version?
For the fieldwork, this is the release version, for the fieldwork report.
Okay, perfect. All right, then I think we can conclude this session. It's going to be made available to all Nfield users soon. So we hope you enjoy this feature and do share the feedback as we asked before. For me, that's all. I would like to thank you all for participating. Martin, any last words?
No, just a thank you. And I really want to say again, the more feedback that we get, anything, even if it's a photograph of a something written or drawn on a napkin, everything is welcome.
All right, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.